Good day, welcome to our Community Infinity Safety Awareness podcast. As you know, we always bring the topic which was near and dear to us and which impact us in majority, and which not only impact our daily life, but financially, economically, politically, in each and every sector. Before we go further, we would like to acknowledge we are on Treaty 6 land. It's a land which welcomes everyone. As we are talking about the federal government, provincial government, municipal government, all are talking about the affordability housing, apartments, condos, which are coming more and more and more. So we did raise this question about the Condominium Act to the Premier. Today we have Service Alberta and Red Tape Reduction Minister Dale Nally with us. He does not need an introduction. He has been a minister since October 24, 2022. And when I was reading his bio, it really impressed me when he has raised from more than 50 to 80 millions in revenue. I have to learn how to do that. And then he has elected official and a decade in private sector. He led the managed businesses. So he understands what, how, and to run the business. And he has a master's degree in education, too, highly educated. Thank you, Dale, for taking your time and talking to us.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here to speak with
you. Dale, as we are talking about affordability and, the housing problem and everything, I really admire the provincial government has taken an initiative to address that issue. Do you want to a little bit enlighten us or give us a little bit more details how it's going to happen?
Sure. There's different ways to go about it. There's a lot of groups that are asking if we're going to bring in rent controls because we know that's the number one issue on Albertans' minds right now is affordability and cost of living. And we're not doing rent controls. And the reason we're not is because right now we are getting signals from the marketplace to invest in more housing, to bring more supply online. And it's that increased supply that's going to drive housing costs down in the future. If we bring in rent controls, that's of course going to be a roadblock to more investment coming online. And in fact, we tried rent controls in the 1970s, and that's exactly what happened. Is new investment did not come online, new supply didn't increase, and things got worse, not better. So rent controls are not the answer, but we have brought forward affordability measures, as you know. We, of course, we brought in payments for low-income seniors, low-income families. We've paused the gas tax on the pump. And so we've done a number of things to address the affordability issues. In terms of the cost of housing, we need more supply to come online. And so I'll be working with Minister Nixon very closely on focusing on removing red tape so that we can have essentially more supply of housing to come online. And we need to reduce permit wait times as well.
Thank you, Dale. As we are talking about, thank you for your initiative. I will jump on the straight question now, which really impact everyone. As we are building more affordable, which basically are condos and apartments, and if you move around in Edmonton or Calgary or other parts of Alberta, the more condo buildings are coming. And when we are talking about the condo buildings, then we have boards and management companies and everything. And RECA has a very limited control on the boards and how they work, how they manage, because management companies and board, basically they play the games and they hide. And RECA is struggling in that too, and they have acknowledged that. What we are doing so we can basically ensure the investment or the new owners are protected between these two.
Yeah. Well, so I would say that condo boards are self-governing entities and they are accountable to the owners. So there's a few different options that owners have. And of course, one is they could vote out the board and bring in a new board. If they can't wait for that period of time, another option is to go to RECA, because RECA is the licensing and the regulating arm here. And if there are any boards that are behaving inappropriately, they can file a complaint with RECA, and RECA can step in and investigate.
So Dale, bring that topic back, right? As it basically lead to my next question too. RECA, when we talk about RECA, right? RECA can only regulate the management company, not the boards.
Right.
And they have acknowledged that. And management basically say, board has told us, but it's a game that what I was trying to say they are playing between them. And is RECA what they are trying to ask the ministry to have a more control on the boards also, because they are not
Right.
following the conflict of interest. Is
Yeah.
a public money when we talk about the reserve funds and all those money which has been raised.
Yeah.
They are not forming the arm's length. I give you an example why I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There is a one condo board I'm personally involved where the $300,000 disappeared in less than 5 months.
Yeah.
And RECA cannot do anything, and they have they can't even enforce it, like, to get the board thing.
Yeah. The Condominium Property Act is there to ensure that both the corporation and the board are operating in the best interests of the owners. If they of course are not, then there's different levers that they can look at that at their disposal. In cases of if fraud has actually happened, then of course one mechanism is to go to the courts. And the courts are there to deal with those situations when fraud has been committed.
So when we are talking about the court, because the court system is very expensive.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
then basically, if say hypothetically, I take someone to the court, I'm
Yeah.
basically getting double snapped because I'm still paying my lawyer fees because I have
Yeah.
to pay on my own, but then still I'm paying a special levy because the board is charging the lawyer fees on to me too. So my thoughts were like, RTDS, like it basically talk about, and it's a very economical, very fast judicial system, and
Yeah.
especially come with the Alberta court system too. Can we bring, currently RTDS is only dealing with the tenant and the owners. Can we
Yeah.
bring the board management company, those facilities under RTDS also? Any thoughts or
Well,
a plan on it?
yeah, actually, we've got that feedback already. What we're hearing from people is that the courts, as you said, can be time consuming and slow, and that's the downside to going to that route. So we are actually looking at that now, and we've started consultations with owners and with industry, and we're talking to stakeholders and finding out from them, is this the direction that they want us to go? So we're having those consultations. If there's anyone that has not been consulted with and they want to have they want to share their position, I would encourage them to reach out to us. We're happy to take this information from them. And specifically what we're looking at is how can we find ways to have faster mechanisms of arbitration in cases like this. And the challenge, of course, is who pays for that, because this is going to come at a cost. And so those are the questions that we're addressing now. And so we're going through that consultation process. I don't have a timeline for you. I can't tell you when we're going to be able to have a solution because the work is ongoing. But we've heard from Albertans the message loud and clear that they want to have some mechanism of binding arbitration that is available and that is cheaper and faster than the current court system. So we've heard that message, and we're going through that process now.
And now it leads to my next question too. When we're talking about the consultation, right?
Yeah.
And this whole process, so many people are involved. The management companies are involved, owners are involved. Yeah. Alberta Insurance Council or insurance companies are involved, because basically you get trapped between how anyone want to be part of this consultation system or the reforming committee, or how they can be part of it, or they can give a feedback.
Well, there's certainly what they can do is they can email, and what I'll do is maybe I'll provide you after the interview. I'll give you the email that you can publish to all of your listeners. But I would encourage them, if no one has reached out to them, because we can't hear from everyone. Obviously, there's 4.3 million Albertans, and there's a lot of condo owners. But if we haven't consulted with you, I'll give you the email address that they can forward their concerns to, and we'll make sure that that is reviewed.
When we talk about deal, the next question is when we talk about creating a policies and implementing. We create a policy, but it always get lost in implementation process. And if it get implemented, the sustaining it or reviewing it, is working or not, or where the fallbacks are, or where the corrective actions are required, or where it need improvement. So when we are going to build a new amendment to the Condominium Act, do you have
Yeah.
any plan to fix a predetermined frequency where it will be reviewed on its own?
So I just want to make sure that I understand the question. Are you asking if we're going to put timeframes in the Condominium Act where how often it'll be reviewed, things like that?
Or one thing like it's like is a procedure in place so it can get reviewed so it does not get backlogged.
Okay, well, I guess my answer to that is we haven't made any decisions in terms of what it's going to look like. We have committed to Albertans that we're going to bring amendments forward, but that is certainly one of them that we can absolutely take a look at. I would say at this point, everything is on the table. We know that there are some concerns from industry. There's some concerns from owners, and we've heard those loud and clear. And everything is on the table, and we haven't made any decisions, but we are looking at that because you do raise some good points.
No, I really appreciate it because now you have taken acknowledge and then you are welcoming everyone to the table too.
Yeah.
As a minister, we always say, the government has a responsibility, but I say the government cannot do anything and everything. As a owners, you have to raise issues also. You have to bring the information.
Yeah.
And I always say that when you're bringing information, don't just bring a problem, always bring a solution too.
Yeah, and you're right. And I appreciate you saying that. And I will add, you remember we brought Bill 19 forward last term, and Bill 19 did not get through, and we didn't get. I think it went to committee of the whole. And what we started to hear from Albertans is they appreciated the amendments in Bill 19, but it didn't go far enough. And so that's why we said, you know what, let's not keep going with Bill 19 if this doesn't go far enough. So we hit the pause button and said, let's go back, let's consult with Albertans and see what they're saying. And so we've heard that message loud and clear, and it's why we hit the pause on Bill 19. So we're currently listening to Albertans, and we'll be bringing forward amendments to the Condominium Property Act. Unfortunately, I don't have a time frame. I don't know if it's going to be spring of next year or fall of next year, but we are certainly bringing amendments to the Condominium Property Act forward.
No, but I really appreciate and I thank you on behalf of all the condo owners because, it's protecting their investments and suddenly you realize it's a special levy has come, but they do not have even the system which is audited. Yeah. When we are talking about the auditing system, as per my information, like when the condo boards audit financials get audited, what have been told to me, they are superficial because the auditors do not check their invoices. They do not check the quotes have been taken, but it's a public fund. Yeah. Is there any plan, or like when we are talking about doing a consultation, are we including the auditors also to make this process more stringent or strict?
Well, like I said, everything is on the table, and we're hearing from everyone. But what I can tell you is right now, like the Condominium Property Act does require that condominium corporations provide owners with financial statements, but it's up to the owners to decide if those financial statements go far enough. So the owners could actually require their condo to go to a deeper level of audit, and that is certainly up to the owners to make that decision right now. Now, I guess the question is, do we make every condo corporation go to a deeper level of audit? We could certainly do that, but as you know, that would come with a cost. So it's really right now it's optional to each owner to decide for their corporation how deep do they want their audit to go. But certainly we are looking at it, and we haven't landed anywhere yet.
So Dale, I really appreciate taking the time and giving a vast information or detailed information, and I will share the information given by Dale about the minister, Dale Nally, about like how they can be part of this consultation program or the process. Dale, if I have missed anything about the Condominium Corporation Act, if you please tell us, like if I missed anything or you have in conversation, it has not come out.
No, I think you've been pretty thorough, and your knowledge of this issue is pretty astute. So I commend you on that. I would just say to your listeners and to your viewers that if they haven't been consulted with, to please email us, and we'd be happy to take any feedback that you have, because we're going through that process right now. You know, we have heard loud and clear that condo owners want us to do more, and then it's just a question of what that's going to look like. And also it's going to come down to at what cost, right? Because everything comes with a cost. So we could put forward a binding arbitration board, but you know, what does that look like? And if people have suggestions, we absolutely want to hear from them. So I'll give you my email, and if you're able to flash it up on your screen, then we could do that.
Sure, I can do that, and after this, I can take it from you, Dale, or Nikki can give it to me. But I really appreciate, and as Minister said, I echo the wording. What he's saying is your property, is your investment. Take ownership. Do not
Absolutely.
cry. Do not cry if you cannot fight or you cannot raise a question. Be part of the.
Absolutely.
And the other thing is I have seen in last 10, 15 years, we always complain, but we never go and vote.
Yeah.
Provincially, federally, or even it goes to the basic AGM of the board. Take a ownership, read your financials of the board, participate in the AGM, raise questions. As Dale is saying, unless you are involved, government cannot do anything and everything. Is that right, Dale?
That's absolutely right. We need people to get involved. We need people to consult with us, to tell us, because it's ultimately the people on the front line who are closer to this issue that know what's going on. So we need to hear from them. That email, and again, I'll leave it to you to flash up on the screen, but it's ministersa@gov.ab.ca. So please send us your feedback, send us your comments. We want to hear from you, because this is important legislation, and we want to make sure that we get it right.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate for taking your time and giving us a detailed information on the upcoming Condominium Act review. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Appreciate speaking with you.